World War II and D-Day. British meteorologist Captain James Stagg correctly predicted a critical break in the weather to allow the Normandy invasion to proceed on what historic date? June 6, 1944. What Roman god inspired the code name for the naval assault and beach landings during the Allied invasion of Normandy? Neptune. What military term describes the complete and absolute dominance of the skies achieved by the Allied air forces over Normandy? Air supremacy. The first town liberated on D-Day, Saint-Mère-Église, commemorates a paratrooper who became trapped on a church steeple while serving in which famous U.S. Army Airborne Division? 82nd Airborne Division. Which elite U.S. Army troops, known by a motto declaring they lead the way, were tasked with scaling the cliffs of Point du Hoc on D-Day? Army Rangers. Entertainment and media history. Which comedy legend, beloved for her iconic television and film roles over several decades, passed away in 2026? Betty White. Which award-winning comedic actress and star of The Nanny was cast to play Timothée Chalamet's mother in the film Marty Supreme? Fran Drescher. Which television creator and actress produced a viral video series titled The Girl Who's Never Been on a Nice Date before launching Abbott Elementary? Quinta Brunson. Which iconic comedic actress launched her career on the 1960s sketch comedy television show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In? Goldie Hawn. Which prominent sports magazine featured athletes like Lynn Swann and Candace Parker on its covers but faced severe criticism in 2023 for publishing AI-generated articles? Sports Illustrated. Music and pop culture. Which Black Eyed Peas hit song set an early record for onomatopoeic pop music by holding the #1 spot on the charts for 3 consecutive months? Boom Boom Pow. What 1999 multi-platinum hit song by Cher is credited with majorly reviving her music career through its pioneering use of digital vocal effects? Believe. Which massive 2020 hit song by The Weeknd achieved such historic global chart success that it secured him the Super Bowl 55 halftime show performance? Blinding Lights. Which 2016 comedy special featured stand-up comedian Ali Wong performing in an $8 striped maternity dress that she later donated to the Smithsonian? Baby Cobra. In which early career hit single does pop star Justin Bieber repeat the title word more than 50 times? Baby. What sexually attractive adjective from a smash hit Destiny's Child song was officially added to the Oxford English Dictionary? Bootylicious. Classical music and opera. The heroine Goethe famously wears polka dot lederhosen in a parody of what tragic Giacomo Puccini opera? Tosca. What is the English name for the grand, elephant-led musical procession that highlights the second act of Giuseppe Verdi's opera Aida? Triumphal March. Which famous Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart opera translates into English as "They All Do It" to describe the fidelity of women? Così fan tutte. In classical opera tradition, which biblical heroine famously sings a seductive aria to Samson declaring that her heart opens to his voice? Delilah. What term describes characters who are siblings, a common narrative device found in Richard Wagner's opera Die Walküre? Brother and sister. Literature and authors. Which classic 1859 Charles Dickens novel famously opens and closes with sentences beginning with the word it? A Tale of Two Cities. Which American author wrote the acclaimed E.Z. Rollins detective mystery series alongside multiple science fiction novels and plays? Walter Mosley. Which iconic children's author was born in a Wisconsin log cabin in February 1867 and later chronicled her upbringing in the Little House series? Laura Ingalls Wilder. Which famous Truman Capote novella originally featured Marilyn Monroe as the author's preferred choice to play the main character, Holly Golightly? Breakfast at Tiffany's. Which modern American author wrote the best-selling novel Everything I Never Told You, set in 1970s small-town Ohio? Celeste Ng. What is the first name of John Green's best-selling author brother, with whom he co-hosts the popular YouTube channel Vlogbrothers? Hank. Words, wordplay, and vocabulary. What single word combines a 7-sided geometric shape with a disease-causing microscopic organism? Heptagon. What single word functions as a chemical term for a mixture of multiple metals and an idiom for a loyal, trustworthy friend? What single grammar term acts as both a noun for a rapid rush and a noun for atmospheric precipitation? Precipitation. What compound word combines a term for stopping an action with an alphabetical index found at the back of a textbook? Kibosh. What single word means both to cook food in hot oil and to be terminated from employment? Fried. What compound word links the front face of a currency coin with an adjective describing someone who uses far too many words? Averse. What single word links a classic children's guessing game, a handheld viewing device, and a decorative architectural window pane? Glass. What single word can be preceded by the words north, fishing, or telephone? Pole. Global geography. Which historical archaeological site, rediscovered high in the Andes Mountains in the early 20th century, sits at an elevation of 7,700 feet? Machu Picchu. Which European nation is the native homeland of artist René Magritte, tennis champion Justine Henin, and actor Jean-Claude Van Damme? Belgium. The Isle de la Possession belongs to the Crozet Islands archipelago, which is an overseas territory governed by which European nation? France. The historic UNESCO World Heritage Vineyards of Pico Island are located within which autonomous Portuguese archipelago? Azores. Which autonomous Caribbean island forms the first letter of the famous ABC Islands within the Lesser Antilles? Aruba. Which remote South Pacific island, settled by British mutineers in 1767, remains an active British overseas territory? Pitcairn Island. History and archaeology. What major 14th-century epidemic struck England in 1348, leading to the creation of massive plague burial pits across London? Black Death. Archaeologists in 2024 discovered a rare, sacred blue room adorned with painted female figures at which famous ancient Roman excavation site? Pompeii. Divers off the coast of Egypt in 2025 recovered massive stone blocks belonging to which destroyed ancient wonder of the world? Pharos of Alexandria, Lighthouse of Alexandria. Which future United States President and Union General famously chose a horse named Cincinnati as his primary mount during the American Civil War? Ulysses S. Grant. Animals and equestrianism. What famous breed of heavy draft horses is bred and trained at Warm Springs Ranch in Missouri for use in Budweiser commercial campaigns? Clydesdale. In which United States Pacific Northwest state did the Nez Perce tribe breed the Appaloosa horse near the Palouse River? Idaho. Which specific breed of American horse is named for its ability to sprint at maximum speed in races measuring a quarter mile or less? Quarter horse. What collective name describes ocean mammals like the sei, mink, and bowhead? Baleen whales. What historical racehorse became the first in thoroughbred history to surpass $1 million in career racing earnings? Citation. Publishing and periodicals. Which major American women's fashion magazine was founded in 1867 with Mary Louise Booth serving as its inaugural editor-in-chief? Harper's Bazaar. Which prominent non-profit publication began printing a large print edition to supplement its iconic 5.5 by 7.5-inch digest format? Reader's Digest. Which highly popular monthly educational publication achieved a global circulation milestone of 1 million copies by the year 1926? National Geographic. Which consumer product evaluation entity began issuing its highly recognizable seal of approval to trusted brands in 1909? Good Housekeeping. Law, Language, and Customs. What traditional legal Latin phrase describes a theoretical, exceptionally careful person who serves as the standard for exercising proper duty of care? Bonus pater familias. What adjective is used to describe a soldier or subordinate who shows open defiance, disobedience, or disrespect toward military authority? Insubordinate. What specific verb describes the act of speaking or preaching in a highly pompous, dogmatic, or authoritative manner? Pontificate. What standard grammatical adverb describes an occurrence or event that takes place exactly once every 4 years? Quadrennially. Anthropology and arts. What compound archaeological term, derived from Greek roots for rock and carving, describes prehistoric Sahara desert art like the life-size giraffes of Niger? Petroglyph. What unique piece of American insignia features a bald eagle clutching a traditional Polynesian war club alongside a fly whisk? Seal of American Samoa. Locksmithing and hardware. What common 3-word sequence categorizes different residential door locking mechanisms, specifically listing a round handle, a latch bolt, and a recessed lock body? Knob, deadbolt, mortise.